for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking. You're sweet. You're falling into me. Touch me. I swear you would do anything.
Hey, I'm sitting up here talking and forgot to unmute my mic. Jesus help me. Well, I was saying thanks again for tuning into another episode of Unscripted, where we are having conversations that matter, conversations that are important. Of course, I got my girls with me, and mixing it up a little bit this time, we brought in Antonio Davis and Mario Choice. I want to welcome everybody to the show. Thank you for tuning in today. We are talking about health is wealth. Not just about physical health or how you eat something or how many times a week you work out, but also we want to talk about the mental health, the way that we look. How does that really play a part in who we are, what we do, why we do certain things, what we attract when we do those things? So I'm excited to go ahead and let's jump right in. Right now, I want to go ahead and hand it on over to Deirdre.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I am absolutely excited because this is a conversation that everybody should be having, especially in the middle of the 2020 vision year, where we're seeing stuff we've never seen before. Our health really is our wealth. And so I'm super excited about being a part of this conversation, especially since I believe my health journey is one of the reasons why I didn't have severe complications when this stuff started hitting, because I had made some changes, I had done some things. So I'm just excited to get into the conversation. What about you, Eliza?
I swear we have, let me tell you, this virtual world is something serious.
Like with everything that's been going on here. I'm super excited for all of this, like to learn about the mental, physical, everything has to do with health and wealth, and also have a few stories of my own that you're talking about. So I'm really excited to get into this today and learn a lot.
Yeah, so I'm again, I want to thank everybody for joining us on today's show. It's so important that we really begin to have these conversations talking about our health. What does that really look like? So I know for me, I want to share my own experience. I'm very open and transparent on social media. I recently wore a heart monitor because I had been feeling lightheaded, had been getting shortness of breath, and there was a few other things that were going on. And so just to make sure that I was good on top of the, mammograms and everything else, the OBGYNs and all of that, I found it important to also check what was going on with me inside. And found out that I do have some blockage around my arteries that go out to my heart. So the doctor said that right now it's not bad, but now is the time to go ahead and eat better and exercise some more. So all the things that throughout the whole year of 2020, all of the resolutions that I've made from years past, now it's like I'm not just making a resolution, I'm making an actual conscious decision. And so I wanted to bring Mario in and Antonio in because Antonio is a trainer. He also works for the Detroit Fire Department, and he works alongside my husband. So we want to thank you to all the first responders, give a huge shout out to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. In the wake of COVID, people are losing their lives. And I think that even though some people have lost their lives that are like super what we consider to be healthy, what does that really look like? So Mario, take us along your journey, because I've seen you transition literally across social media. You was part of the thick club, even though for men they don't call y'all thick, but you was part of you know, you're part of the thick club. Now I'm calling you slim. So, I mean, what for you, why was that transition so important? And what does being healthy in your mind really look like?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share that. And I really appreciate being on here with everyone else. But what healthy looks like, I know everyone has a different view, but to just give you something very quickly about my health journey, why it looks a certain way to me. Um, I played sports all through, high school, and was pretty physical, and I had, was active in college, and I turned 40, and it kind of went downhill from there. And then I became ordained pastor. I became an ordained pastor, and
Okay.
I
I gotta
call it.
stop here really quick. If anybody's wondering where Mario is from, he from Texas, y'all.
Yeah.
That's that twang in there.
The Twain. So, I became ordained pastor, and we call it the pastor's diet, which is Golden Corral, bread, macaroni, every Passover meal, every funeral meal. I was eating it, and I looked up and I was almost 300 pounds.
Wow.
And I'd never been that big. Well, I blew it off, and I continued until, ironically, on my way to Kentucky Fried Chicken last August 2019, I started having chest pains.
Wow.
And I blew it off until I started to sweat. And I said, okay, something's wrong. I pulled over to the side of the road and called the ambulance, or like they say on Facebook, the ambulance. So
Ambulance.
the ambulance. And so when they put me in the back of the ambulance, the paramedics, one of the scariest things I've ever witnessed, they were taking my blood pressure. And when they took my blood pressure, I asked them what was it, and they both looked at one another.
Wow.
I said, okay, I'm gonna need y'all to stop, looking at each other and tell me something. He said, oh, hold on, let me take it again. So he took it again, and they looked at each other again. So I'm panicking even more. I'm sweating worse than OJ in court right now. So I'm just sweating. And so, they didn't say anything. They said, sir, just lay back. We're gonna give you this nitroglycerin. People that's not familiar with nitroglycerin, they put the nitroglycerin up under your tongue, and it opens up the vessels to the heart. And so they got me to the hospital. He came in and told me why they didn't say anything. And I said, what happened? He said, your blood pressure was so high it wouldn't read. Now, why is that scary? That's stroke and heart attack level.
Right.
So that day I walked out of the hospital. I said, I got to do something. Actually, I was there for 2 days. I walked out of the hospital. I said, I got to do something different. And I had a friend, 2 friends that had lost weight from plant-based eating. Those are, things that are plant-based. And I tried it and fell in love with it. And it took a transition. My body went through all types of transition. I tell people all the time that I was actually drinking 3 16-ounce, depends on where you're from, soda or pops. In Texas, we say soda water, since you put me out there about my
Soda
Texas.
water, yes.
So I was drinking 16-ounce pops, probably 3 of those a day.
Wow.
My sugar level was, my A1C was 8.7, and anything above 5.5 is considered diabetic. Blood pressure was running 180 over 95 to 110 consistently. So I had to try something different. And so I took a page out of a couple of friends' book, did a lot of research, and, seen there's a lot of cholesterol, a lot of, stuff and meat. And I said, let me try this. And dove right into it. I don't recommend that, because when I tell you I was detoxing and body was shaking like I was smoking heroin for years. No offense to nobody that kicked the heroin addiction, but and I mean, I really went through a serious detox and lost 65 pounds, still losing, and started lifting weights. But it was what my friend calls a TE, traumatic event, that pushed me to try something different.
Right.
So I went heavy on the vegetables. I went heavy on the fruit. I stopped drinking soda. I haven't drunk soda since August 2019.
Wow.
And I just went heavy on my fruits and vegetables, and it started to fall off. Then I started to lift weights. I kind of walked through this thing. I started back
Ma-
out walking.
Well, Mario,
Yeah.
before you,
Mario,
yeah,
I was
before
about to say before, yeah,
he
before you go that far.
wait a minute, hold on. I know we're talking about being healthy and all that, but he really went to the meat and potatoes of this conversation, as well. And I do want to hear from everybody else. I want to hear from Antonio about why. I mean, like I said, I've known you, I think now the last 2 years, and you and Linnell have always been healthy. What I perceive to be healthy, and the look of what that really is like. I'm not around you when you're eating or what you're doing, but just your overall looks healthy. So why is that so important to you? Not just because you're a firefighter, clearly you got to stay in shape, but just internally, like, what was your decision to just become completely like off of meat altogether?
Well, my journey started much like Mario's. I was always playing football, so I always, worked out and things of that nature. Um, when I somewhere back in 2004, oh no, yeah, about 94, 95, something like that. I started bodybuilding, and in the bodybuilding, what happened was, you'll take your body through these extremes. You'll eat, and then you'll diet down. And so you prepare for these shows. So when I was preparing
Mhm.
for the shows, I would eat heavy. Of course, I was eating not just anything, certain meals 6 times a day, and I was eating like 3 to 5 thousand calories. And then you
Wow.
have to diet down for that, to get in shape for the show. So after I'd done that so long, I realized that you can't live like that. You can't live up and down like that because you take your body through extremes. So I decided that I needed to get into a regular program of eating. I did like the 6 meals a day eating kind of thing. And what really got me into the personal trainer side of it is my nephew, who was at the time when he passed away, was 40 years old,
Mm,
died from congestive heart failure. And he was like 6'2", but about 500 pounds. And
wow.
um, when he passed away, I felt like, man, I wish I could have done something. And from there, I took on this pledge that if I could be around anyone who needed my help, I would at least try to help them become healthy, And so for me, that kind of made me strive to stay healthy because I know that people like to look at people and say, when they see you, they say, well, what you doing? And they want to get your advice. I know when I was bodybuilding, if somebody told me they wanted to train me and they didn't look the part, I didn't, even though if they had the knowledge, I wasn't even going to them because I wanted somebody who looked the part, had the knowledge, and could at least push me, But if
Mhm.
you're saying you have this knowledge but you're not doing the work with me, then I kind of like okay. So much like Mario, I just kind of said getting off the meats and stuff like that was because I realized that some of those meats I was eating was just not healthy for me. I was eating a lot of pork, and pork itself is a nasty animal. So it got me away from there. And beef, things like that. I didn't like the hormones and the injections they was putting in it. And if you see the sickness that those animals go through, I'm like, if that animal was sick, I'm putting that same meat inside my body. So
Yeah.
those things propelled me to get off those, off the meat and things like of that nature. So kind of getting to where I'm at now with the pescatarian kind of lifestyle is because I can choose what kind of fish I eat.
Right.
And I don't think nobody's going into the ocean, even though they're polluting our oceans. They're not going out there injecting the fish. Some, they have some things where they're raising them, but I kind of get, wild caught things of that nature, kind of real picky on what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at
I
this
have a
point,
question. I
go
have a
ahead.
question because both of you said very similar things. Mario, it was your health. And then for you, it was someone else's health, someone else that kind of, you saw that because of their health, they passed. And I think for a lot of people, when they make these switches in their dietary needs and things like that, it is because the light goes off with your health. Because for me, when I turned pescatarian last year, it's because I went to the doctor and they told me I was borderline diabetic and borderline hypertensive. And so they told me, I said, well, okay, how long? If borderline means I have a chance, what do I need to do? And he said,
Mhm.
well, number one, you need to lose at least 20 pounds. That's what he told me, number one. And then he said, you need to find a different diet. So I see the theme here, and I think it's important that instead of us waiting till we get to the doctor or waiting till we on our way to Burger King having a heart attack or having a stroke, that we start to figure out now what are some of the things as a culture, because it's really cultural too. What some of the things as a culture we can start making tweaks in to do better. So Mario, from a cultural perspective, because you a Southern Black man, which is a whole nother thing, a Southern Black man, because Southern recipes are butter, sugar, heavy in fat, that kind of thing. What are some of the things that, I mean, outside of just going all the way vegetarian, that you veganish, that you can tell people to start doing now, or signs that they can see, that they do need to make some changes?
And that's a good question. I appreciate you for posing that question. One of the things, unfortunately, I want to make this not a disclaimer, but most people won't change until they have to.
Mm.
And and like we were saying earlier, we just pray that your life is not shifted to the point to where you don't get to change.
Right.
Meaning the ultimate thing, which is death. And I was blessed to be able to make that change. Now, I'm 46, and I had a doctor actually sit down and tell me when I was 37, this not looking good. Now, you know what I said? Oh, I'm all right. I just, I won't eat 2 pecan pies. I eat 1,
Right.
My wife makes a joke with me. When we first got married, she used to call me OP, and people used to wonder why, because I used to eat an oatmeal pie every night with some milk.
Wow.
I mean, for years in college and everything. So the gradual changes, I would say, for people, first start doing your research. I believe, like Antonio was saying, when you start researching and seeing this, you look it right in the face, you'll say, man, wait a minute, hold on for a second. And down south, Southern comfort food is king. Barbecue in the summertime is king, but potato. Matter of fact, hold on,
potato salad
right now. But potatoes. So what I do is I tell people start making gradual changes. I say things like, add more fruit and vegetables to your food. Now, I had a homeboy. I said, man, add more. We went out to eat before COVID hit, and I was like, add more, vegetables. And he got the salt and doused it on the green beans. I said, okay, that's okay. You doing too much. But he just put all types of salt on the green beans. He just made it worse than what it was. But I just tell him to make gradual changes. One of the things that helped me, I don't know about you, Antonio, was I didn't realize how much sugar I was putting into my body. All the sugar. And actually, one day I actually just kind of calculated, because I don't know about y'all, I had to have bread with every meal. The morning time, I had my biscuits. Lunch, I had my rolls. And then if I went to Olive Garden, I would tell them, hey, give me an extra bag of those sticks. I call them sticks. Give me an extra bag of those sticks. And I would eat that. And so all day long, that's not count out. I'm drinking 16-ounce pops, 3 of those a day, along with that.
Wow.
Don't let me eat some white rice with my chicken fried rice or whatever. Or then and like my wife said, OP time, oatmeal pie time, with the milk. And I was a floating case to have a heart attack or stroke, or just be on insulin. But I'm glad God gave me that. But I would say, to answer your question, is slow changes. Make slow changes. I couldn't afford to make a slow change, to be honest with you, because when you're in the back of the ambulance and paramedics are looking at each other puzzled, I got to make drastic changes quick. But for other people, start drinking water, start doing these things slowly. I started back walking 30 minutes a day. I'm lifting weights now, doing weights 4 or 5 times a week, but it wasn't like that for the first 3 or 4 months. I was irresponsible to the point to where I had to make drastic changes.
Yeah. And I want to jump in because I'm listening to, you know, like your stories, and clearly I probably should have had a female on here that had some kids, because y'all don't know what a fupa is, okay?
Yeah, I
If
know
y'all
what
don't
it
know,
is.
I'm gonna
I
need
just
y'all
don't have
to use Google University and find out what a fupa is, okay? I'm not
Yeah, I
about to
know.
say it on here.
True.
But
Let's
I'm
talk
just saying,
about that earlier.
for me, I have, you know, 4 children, and my weight has always fluctuated, right? So I want to talk about, can I just be real with everybody? For real, for real. Well, I'm a Black woman and I love my curves. Okay. My husband loves my curves. And I remember before I had gotten married, I was all about this whole let me be healthy. I was juicing, which juicing is super expensive, but I was juicing and I was eating right and I was working out. And I had gotten my body to the point where I felt so good. I was in my 2-piece after 4 kids. I was like, yes, y'all can't tell me nothing, right? Nobody says anything about how you look. They say you look great. Oh, you lost a lot of weight. But it's kind of like that ugly baby that you be like, oh, you had a baby. But you waiting for the person to say the baby is cute. So after I started gaining weight again, people were like, girl, you look like you was anorexic. You look like a straight up crackhead. You like all of these different negative images started popping into
That
my head.
happened to me.
What I thought, you know, I was clearly healthy because I was working out and I was doing everything. But the whole look, you know, did I look sick? Some people can get to the point where I think that they look, you know, unhealthy. And I think that I was at that point where I was looking unhealthy. And so now I was like, well, okay, happy weight is real, ladies. So if you're not married, I'm going to tell you that I have gained 40 pounds since being married in the last 3 years. That's real. My husband likes baked macaroni and cheese, rib. He likes that good old Southern food, right? And so I gained the weight right along with him. And I'm now at a point where I'm like Mario, like I'm at a point where something drastic for me has to change, you know? So I want to talk about with Antonio because he is a trainer. Antonio and I have spoken, and um, those who listened earlier to him say he doesn't want to be around anybody and not be able to make that change. That's legit. He's offered so many times, come over, let's work out, come on, let's eat right, like come on. Like he's done that. And it was on really me and my husband that we didn't open up that door. We didn't take advantage of the opportunity that presented itself almost 2 years ago, you know, with us. But having vertigo, you know, I think that people who are in situations where they want to become healthier, and they don't know what that really is supposed to look like. They may not have the finances to invest in more fruits and vegetables because those things are more expensive than going to McDonald's and eating off the dollar menu, right? So having vertigo and getting lightheaded and all these other things, and I had surgery. Antonio, how does a person really start? A person, let's say that is going through a hysterectomy or they just had surgery, but they need to do something to get started. I know drinking the water, like Mario said, but in your opinion, where does that change start? And how can that person that really doesn't have the ability to walk 30 minutes, you know, what can they do? Let's talk to those people and let's talk to the ladies with the fupas. Okay.
Okay, I love that segue because we were talking about cultural, and the first thing I would say is that for us black men, and as well as mostly black men, we don't go to the doctor until something happens, and we like, oh, I got to go to the doctor. So before you start anything, I would suggest that you first go and get a checkup from your doctor. You know, even for the vertigo, for those things, those natures, because you want to let him first give you a bill of health saying that you are able to work out. As if you come and see me, that's the first thing I'm going to do is make you sign a release to go see your doctor. Have you seen your doctor? Because I will make sure that before I start you on any program, that you've been cleared to work out. Secondly, what Mario was talking about is the sugar. When he said he was having withdrawal symptoms, it was because of sugar. Sugar is the second cousin to cocaine. It's like a and so you like he said, you eat so much sugar, you're not knowing that that white rice turns into sugar. That bread turns into sugar, and we don't. If we're not using it properly, it just stores up fat. So it's sitting there, and you're not burning it. And you think that, oh, okay, I went walking, but you really got to walk enough to eat because you're taking those carbs and you're not burning them off. You're not doing enough to burn them off, so they're sitting there and they should steady storing up. Thirdly, is really the gym is the last thing. The gym is like 10% of it. It's how you eat, your mindset, your preparation. So before you even start, I would like for you to get a mindset of what it is that you're looking to do. Like you're talking about your weight loss and things of that nature. I'm gonna say put the weight loss on this side first because I'm more of your health. It's only two things that matter. Well, one thing, if you're talking about, overall, is that the heart health. And when you got the cholesterol and your heart rate is not, you're not been elevating that heart rate. So we're going to look at, let's first start off with those people who might be sedentary, who can't walk, who has vertigo, who might, when they start, my wife, she suffers from vertigo. Mm-hmm. So, and there are a number of things you can do just to start to build up that heart rate, to get that heart rate to, at least used to, working. And you do that by a number of tests to see what's your heart rate that we can get you up to that you can work out without passing out. If you go into any trainer, if he's not giving you these evaluations before you start, then you kind of get away from him because he's going to have you doing something and you're going to be overexerting yourself and falling out. So the main thing is to take it very slow. In Mario's case, he said he jumped right in because of his issues. But I mean, if we can just kind of take it slow and go with, all right, what can you do for 5 minutes? Okay. And those are gains. Don't look at it as, oh man, I want to be here. You got to look at it as gains. You were talking about the weight. I was taught by my trainer that the weight is not as important. I could be 250 pounds, but I can outrun anybody because my heart is healthy. And if my heart is healthy, guess what? I can work on the weight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want you guys to get off the fact of how I look. You know what I mean? Because like you said before, you can go down and be skinny and still not be healthy. You can you can take so far that you're not healthy. Your body's like, oh, okay, this is not a good part for me. Your body has a natural weight that looks good on it. Mm-hmm. Naturally looks good right there. And once you find that natural weight, you can work inside of that, whether it be 5 pounds. You say, oh man, I can be right here. It shows my abs. Right here, it doesn't. But yet and still, I'm still healthy. You understand? Yeah. So learn to be comfortable in your own skin. A lot of people that's not comfortable in their own skin. They're like, oh, they're looking at, TV has made us look at other people and think that, oh, they look good. And if I don't look like that, then I'm not in shape. I'm not healthy. And that's a misnomer. You have to love your own body because God created the body to look like everyone to look like that, the same people, then the world will be, just crazy. Everybody looking the same. Well, like you said, your curves, love your curves. Just understand what it is that I can do inside this body. I'm sorry, go ahead. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
I think I do have it's her. Okay, she's breaking up, guys. So we're gonna have her come back in again. So
well, I have a question because you brought up a really good point, Shay. You talked about the woman's shape. And those curves are important for us. They
are important to us because, like he said, though, what the world puts out. So I know my husband and I know what he likes. And I remember focusing on my weight and losing it. He was like, baby, that booty getting small. So what did I do? I wanted to please my man, right? So I was doing squats. I still did those, but I was also eating. I'm like, okay, I know what puts weight on certain areas. But
so that was my question. That was going to be my question because I know that there are a lot of personal trainers, especially those that, because I follow a few that really focus on that part because a lot of women, that is important to them, their shapes. And so there are things that you can do to keep the stomach flat, the hips a little bit wider, the butt a little curvier, the thigh. So with you being a personal trainer, are these some of the things that once a person gets to you and they reach their health goal that you can help them with?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a sculptor, so therefore,
okay.
As we're working, you telling me your goals. So I'm not negating your goals. I just have goals that I'm looking at first before we get there, and it's always going to be health for me because I don't want you to be looking good and then you go to the doctor and your cholesterol level is up here. You understand? So once we get you, once I feel like you can work out at a good 20 minutes, real strong, and you're not faint, then we can go from all right, I'm sculpting you all along. Exercises that I'm doing that you might not think is me saying these are goals that you said, and I'm going to work out. And so there are exercises that I'm doing that you might not see immediately, but once you keep going, you'll start looking in the mirror and say, oh, I didn't realize that was that. So and we're going to take it really. The gym is good for sculpting, but the diet is better, because that's when you lose and gain weight. So like when they said she was eating good. But what she didn't realize is that when she got to a weight that was like, okay, I'm good here, she could have stopped and then adjusted that to stay at that certain weight. And that's where it's coming. Like when you start eating, you can adjust where you are in your weight and still do your normal routine. So it's about learning your body and adjusting where you eat at. Like I said, I was eating 5,000 calories for working out. I could easily went down to 3,500, 2,000 and maintain a certain weight.
Got it.
We actually had somebody just comment, and that's Lisa. That's been my issue as well. I will start and I will go good, and then a holiday will come up, a birthday will come up. I call myself an emotional eater. So this time, and I think that, and Antonio and Mario and even Deidre, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to be conscious of when you're going through something to make sure that you don't fall back into that same pattern. Because for me, I know that my health is not the greatest, and so I went and threw away all the chips, that I like, because I can have chips in my house, but if I don't like them, I don't really care. I like hot popcorn and I like fried chicken. So thank you, Jason, because while we had COVID, that's all he brought us was some fried chicken. I had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, fried chicken and water. That has been my meal, right? But it's been beneficial. I just lost my grandfather yesterday, and I found myself wanting to go to that comfort food. I'm gonna let somebody else talk so I can gather myself together.
Well, let me say this. I don't think it's anything wrong with what I call planned cheating. I think if you know that you're coming up to a holiday or you know that you're in a place, give yourself the non-guilt ability to plan your cheat. That's what I do. I just do it. I know that for my birthday was in October. I gained 15 pounds in 2 weeks because I let all my friends take me out. But I also had the plan that after those 2 weeks, I would go on a juice fast and cleanse myself from the stuff I just ate for 2 weeks. So sometimes just planning those things out too can help. What do you think, Mario? And
well, really quick before they answer, because I want to go back to Lisa's thing, because I think a lot of people, especially women, especially those of us that have known issues that prevent us from really feeling like we can go outside and we can walk and we can, do different things. How do you help somebody stick to it? How many days does it legit take? It says 21 days to form a habit, but we ain't even making it to the 21 days. So Mario, I want to start with you, because you did the hardcore cold turkey on everything because you had to. But how long did it take for you to really get in that pattern? And then also, when you were struggling, what did you do?
Well, one of the things that I like what Antonio said, I got into it not to lose weight. I got into it to be healthy. And one of the byproducts was losing weight. I looked up 2 months later And people are like, say, man, black people, we don't ever give people compliments. You got to be something going on. Got to be something going on with you smoking crack or something. You doing something. So
Right.
I would give people. They would say things like, "Hey, man, you going through something?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" But they were telling me I was losing weight. And 3 months later, I went to go put on my church suit coat and put it on. I looked in the mirror. I said, "What the heck?" And I can almost wrap it. But my whole goal was I said, well, I want to lose weight, but if I'm healthy, I started feeling better. My knees stopped hurting, my back stopped hurting, my blood pressure dropped, my sugar levels dropped, and I was okay with that. But I continued, and the weight started to come off. And so I would say I went cold turkey, but I don't think everyone can do that. And when I first started out, I didn't go in. My friend called it the Friday night hero, where people try to go in, they're going to go lift weights 5 days a week. You ain't did nothing in 10 years. And I said, no. And I actually started walking 15 to 30 minutes down the street for like 2 months straight. I didn't touch a weight. I didn't touch any weights. And then after that, I said, I feel like jogging. I said, man, I want to jog a little bit. Start feeling myself a little bit and started jogging. And the weights came later. But I would tell someone, I don't necessarily recommend going cold turkey like I did. In my situation, I felt like I had to, but I do think that you need to take those steps to be able to, ultimately get to the point where you can do the things. In other words, I'm kind of dancing around. Take those small steps, and you can do those big things later when it comes to your body. And when it comes to I want the pectorals, I want a six pack. Well, you can't have all that in the casket. And I apologize for being so straightforward.
No, that's what's needed. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this real quick and give Antonio. One of the things I seen in the gym once I got in there, I seen people that I knew personally that were extremely unhealthy, but their body looked like they weren't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I seen women that I know personally that had diabetic issues, and she had the voluptuous shape, and everybody would drop and look at her, walk past, and be like, "Ooh." And this person would come to me later and be like, "Hey, man, my EKG is abnormal, man. What can I do?" What did you do? But their body didn't look like that they were actually having any type of difficulty internally.
Yeah.
And I like that point because on the bottom of the screen it says just because you're skinny don't mean you're healthy. So that's a misnomer as well. Everybody think when you're skinny or that you must be in shape, or if you have a great shape, you must be in shape. So one of the things I would like to say is to get started, prep to win. Prep for success. That means that before you start anything, think about it. If you talk, get your routine. Like, first of all, the prepping is going to be the hardest part because you have to go inside your kitchen and throw away a lot of things. Real, and that's going to be the hard. They said I got these things in my in my home. You have to get rid of those things. But however, to this point, the planned cheat days. I'm with that. Trust me, but I'm not with planned cheat days where
overboard days, a cheat overboard.
Right, the whole, so I would like for you to still eat right. Like, okay, so you're gonna take me out for my birthday. I know I'm going out. My other 5 meals are gonna be good meals.
Right.
That one meal is gonna be my cheat meal, and then the next day I get back on my habit. And then if I
don't go overboard with it, right?
I'm still eating my healthy and staying on, and then I'm working out. So I'm still doing those things that promote success. However, I'm just saying, okay, I know I'm going out today because your body, no matter what they tell you, I can eat good all the time. And what happens is once I get my body used to that, it slows the metabolism down. Sometimes to pick the metabolism up, you got to eat something that's heavy enough, and it says, "Oh, I need to burn that off," and it speeds it back up, and it kicks it back in motion. And you say, "Oh, okay, I needed that." So understanding the body is what. So when you're working out, that's why it's always good to be with someone, Mario, a trainer, someone who understands those that mechanics of the body, so they can tell you, "All right, yeah, it's fine. And if you're working with a trainer, my job is that I educate you so well that you don't need me for life.
Right.
You need me for a period of time, and then if you need to come back and say, okay, I want to go to another level, then I'm here. But I want to educate you that you can go live this lifestyle on your own. And that's the other thing. Don't get
really quick, I'm sorry. We had a question, so I want to be sensitive to our live, people who are watching us live. How do I stick to the routine? Because I think that's a lot of people's issues, to stick to it. Like missing a day, how to really go and get back into it. I want to, for me, with your cheat days, I know for me I can't have a cheat day. I'm not disciplined enough to have any kind of cheat days for me.
Yeah.
Don't take me out for my birthday. Give me a gift card to Walmart. I'm always there.
Right.
Give me a gift card to Myers. I'm always there. Don't take me out for my birthday and expect me. I remember when my husband and I were dating, and this is the point where I was eating right. I was doing good. I was going to meet his family. We were going on a cruise. So I had to be bikini ready, right? So I'm sending him all these pictures and bikinis and whatever. And I was ready. So I get on a cruise and I'm eating a salad. The rest of his family, they're going in. They on a cruise. And I was eating my little salad. He came and took my salad and like put some steak in front of me, and and I ain't gonna lie, I fell off and I ain't been back on since. And we were dating, and I'm married now 3 years. So
well, can I just say this? Yeah. I think it's a misnomer that anybody can tell you how to keep your diet habits and your things up, because it's really going to be up to you. There is no 21 days, 15 days, because if you don't have it made up in your mind that this is what you're going to do to save your life, then I don't care if you go to the trainer. I don't care if the trainer stepping out at your door. I don't care. I've seen my 600-pound life, and my 600-pound life, you got somebody who can't even get up, but they got somebody that will bring them a burger from across the way. So really the question becomes, what's important to you? Is your life important to you? Is your health important to you? Is it important that you're here for the next generation or do whatever? Because those are individual questions that you have to answer. Because I promise you, last year when I went pescatarian, I wasn't even trying to go pescatarian. I really wasn't. I knew I needed to lose weight. I knew that this was a way for me to take some things out. But as I started doing it, I just liked it. And so sometimes it's just even finding the thing. Some people do it with, some people do it with running. Some people do it with walking. Some people do it with the gym. So, I mean, for the person that asked the question, honestly, I'm going to say, and I'm a toss it back over to the gentleman, but isn't it something that you have to personally inside yourself, make up your mind, this is what you're going to do?
Commit to yourself.
I love that question, and I love what Shay was saying. Listen, the best thing I'm gonna say right now is going to speak to what you just said. Is when your whys run deep, your whats are determined. So when I know what my whys is, my whats are easy. So my why was always deep to me. So I knew what I was going to do for the rest of my life. I knew I was going to eat healthy because my whys are always deep. I can always go back to, why am I doing this? So even when I made that lifestyle change, so I like to say lifestyle change, not diets, not fad, lifestyle change, because when you make a lifestyle change, then it doesn't matter what happens day to day. It's your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is what it's going to be.
I want to talk to you.
Make a decision to be healthy, and that's my life. So nothing else matters to me. And so I think people need to come with that, where this is my life, live or die.
Well, and so you brought up fads, which funny enough is one of our subjects right before we close out. And so there's so many fads, right? We got the weight trainers, we got the ketos, we got the weight loss teas, the weight loss pills, not eating at all, straight liquid diets, juicing, blending. And then also for the people who want to gain weight, because I do want to take a few minutes and talk to them. Those people, I know a few people that want to gain weight and simply can't gain weight. So let's just go through these really quick. Waist trainers, would both of you, or all of us really, do you think waist trainers are beneficial to getting that Coca-Cola shape that we want to have? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I put it on, baby, Kim Kardashian ain't got nothing on Shay Owens, okay?
That's an Antonio question. I'm not familiar with waist trainers. With him being a trainer, I know he knows the in and out of that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, a lot of people use waist trainers. I think that they are beneficial in moments. So I wouldn't put that waist trainer on and think that is the end all be all to get in that shape. You know, you can use it in conjunction with what you're doing, you know, and it'll help at that moment. But a lot of people use those and they think that I just put this waist trainer on and I don't have to do the work.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that is a misnomer. So yeah, it has benefits, but it's not the end all be all. So if you use it, fine, but don't think that's going to get you where you want to be at just by using that by itself.
And let's talk about healthy weight. I'm sorry, really quick, because we're running out of time, and I want to be sensitive to the viewers. Let's talk about for the people that want to gain weight. So I'm gonna tune my ears out after this because I ain't trying to gain another pound. Okay, I don't want nothing else coming onto this body. So, but I want to talk to people that want to gain weight. How can they do that? Being healthy without going all the fast food and all of that.
Well, the one thing I want to jump in, I'll let Antonio answer that one. I seen you had keto on there. I just want to just share this real quickly. Yeah. I was doing keto when I was in the back of the ambulance.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Thank you. I'm glad you went back to that though, because Shay, you threw out a whole bunch and then you just left it. I don't want you to leave that because
no, I'm gonna come back to it. But
that's important. Yeah, no. I'm just saying that I'm glad he said that because there are certain diet fasts that are actually killing people and they don't even know it.
So let's
you were keto.
Let's pull it back up real quick.
Yeah, I was doing keto, and I probably was doing some things that probably weren't strictly but I was eating all of the chickens, all of the meats. I was on my way to Kentucky Fried Chicken because I wasn't going to eat any bread, any mashed potatoes. I was going to get the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I just started it, and I've been doing it probably about 3 weeks, and I seen gradual changes. I did see something drop, but then, you know, I guess the cholesterol and the grease and all that stuff had an effect on me. I was probably in danger regardless of the keto, but I just know that it wasn't helping. At that point.
I tried keto. I went through that keto flu and I lost it. I was like, give me some bread, give me some rice, give me some macaroni. I went through that whole flu. I got really sick when I tried to do the keto and my body couldn't handle it. So Antonio, you can go ahead and go through these options here and then also talk about the weight gain option for those people who want to gain weight.
Well, let me talk about the keto. The keto is it has its benefits as well because what it does is it wants you to take away most of your carbs and go with the high fat. So good fats, like, you know, there are good fats in your nuts and your avocados, things of that nature. And so what it does is, what it's telling you to do with the keto is we're going to use that to burn. We're going to burn off fat. So you have a fatty deposit in your body. And so what happens is if I eat carbs, I'm using that to burn. Yeah. But with the keto diet, it's saying that we're going to use all your fat reserves up. And so that's why you see people losing weight there. And it's true, Shay, that you do go through this keto flu. And that's because you're dehydrating your body. You don't have enough water in your body and you're sore. But if you get by that, you can usually your body's going through this ketosis state. So when you get through that, then you can kind of maintain and then you can work inside of that. It's not a bad diet. It's just hard to do. And it's hard to maintain because most people, you know, they go back to craving those, you know, carbs, things of that things. Weight loss teas, things of those things. I'm just going like this. Weight loss teas, weight loss pills, liquid diets. You cannot maintain that as a lifestyle. So maintain it as a lifestyle, why do it? Because what it's going to end up doing, you're going to lose the weight, then you're going to go back. And then you're probably going to gain more weight when you go back because you're going to go back eating crazy. What I suggest is that you get on, before I say that, gaining weight. What I suggest is you get yourself on a good nutritional plan. And once you get on a good nutritional plan, you can adjust from there. Like, they always tell you 2,000 calories is a good place to start because if you start at 2,000 calories, what happens there, you'll lose weight. It takes 3,500 calories to gain a pound. So once you have the 3,500 calories, if you eat like that, you'll gain, right? Now, if you gain it too much, you can come down to 3,000 calories, 2,500 calories. So you can adjust inside of that if you're watching your body. Now, I'm not talking about eating McDonald's and things like that. I'm saying though a healthy diet. Whether it be a pescatarian diet, whether it be a vegan diet, whatever your thing is, if you just maintain it and you do it properly, you can work out in that, and the working out part will be easier. It's the hardest part is maintaining your diet. Period. That's 90% of working out is your diet and the mindset that goes along with that.
I hate the word diet. Like the word die is in diet. You about to kill yourself trying to be
your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is what I'm saying. Then if you're going to do that, it's a lifestyle change. So you're saying that once I understand, like, a lot of people, for me, I get people come in and say, hey, listen, I got this, I'm going on vacation in 30 days. Can you make me lose 500 pounds? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? But they have unrealistic goals and they have performance. So I'm only working out for this time to get to here.
Right.
And that doesn't work. You got to say, well, this is my lifestyle. I'm gonna work out for health. I'm work out for life because I just want to be healthy. And that seems to work better for people who have put in their mind that I want to be healthy and they have a reason to do it, not just a short-term goal, but a long time. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. And I want to tell people too, like even in coaching, and Deirdre knows that we celebrate every single accomplishment that gets you one step closer to the goal. So when I hear people say, I only lost 1 pound, girl, you lost a pound, or man, you lost, celebrate that pound, like celebrate each time. And for me, I know I'm a person, I can't get on a scale because the scale don't move. Sometimes that joke could go up, but then my clothes fit different. I'm losing inches. I could breathe better. I'm walking up the stairs. I'm not, winded and things like that. And COVID my husband and I had COVID twice and it took a toll on us. So breathing is hard anyway, but I'm like, okay, we watch a movie. The movie is an hour long. We get on the treadmill. Cool. Like I'm on a treadmill, he's on the bike, or vice versa. And that's something that we made a commitment to do. I think getting an accountability partner, someone that's going to hold you accountable to the things. And then if you can be honest in that and increase your water intake has worked for me. I want to know really quick before we close out, Deirdre, what has worked for you? Because I know that you've, last time I called you the other day on the phone, you were outside walking. It's too cold here in Michigan to walk, but you were outside and you were going for a walk. So let's leave everybody with like 1 or 2 tips that they can take with them before we close out the show.
Okay. And only because my brain works like this, I just want to go back and say, and first thank the guys for really giving us some insight. At the end of the day, there is no cookie cutter for anybody. But what I will tell you is that I lost 55 pounds before I exercised one day.
Mm-hmm.
Just the lifestyle change was enough. Just going pescatarian and making healthier eating choices was enough. And I didn't even weigh myself. I didn't even realize I lost the weight until I was in my camera. I had just took a picture, and then another picture from an old picture came up, and I was like, Lord, was that me? And I put them side by side. Right. And that's when I saw my own weight loss, which I never really knew. So I'm going to just say, it's going to be individual. There isn't a, what worked for Keisha might not work for you. What worked for Bobo may not work for you, but what will work for you will work for you. I believe, number 2, the last thing I'm going to say, when we talked about all of those things that were at the bottom, talk to your doctor before you choose some of these things, because part of the reason why it probably escalated when he went keto is because he didn't need no extra unhealthy fats because he already had underlying health issues, and his doctor probably would have told him that wasn't the best diet for him. Mm-hmm. So before you choose a diet, I would just recommend too that you talk to your doctor, because they could tell you what's going to be a better diet based on the underlying health conditions that you have already. Okay.
Right. And Mario?
Yeah, and see, with the keto too, I was eating unhealthy fats. I found that out later on because I used half information. But it's I don't, even with the healthy fats, I don't believe it would have been for me. But I did, I went on wrong information, and that's the tip I want to leave everybody: get all of the information before you try any of these things. I've tried so many things over the years. I've did the weight loss teas, I've did the weight pills, none of that stuff worked. And I finally found something that interests me too. The plant-based meals interest me. I find myself trying to find different fruits and things like that. And also that's what helped me through this process to be consistent, is that some of the plant-based meals and the different vegetables, it intrigues me. It keeps me not guessing, but kind of excited about what I'm doing. Everybody say, "Oh, all you do, black families are the worst." You tell them you plant based and you eat vegan, they looking at you crazy. Boy, you don't want no rib, So
Right.
so I would find things that I like. I eat chickpeas and bean salads, and I got creative with it. I even do plant-based protein shakes. So I started getting creative with it, and a lot of my family even joined in after the results. Like Antonio was saying earlier, you don't want to follow nobody unless they got the results or they look like they're doing what they're supposed to do. And so my tip would be, get all the information that you need to get. Don't just jump right into something, and find something that possibly can make you excited about doing it.
Yeah. Antonio, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say, and just piggybacking, is that find what works for you. If you can find what works for you, you're more likely to stick with it than just listening to what everybody else is saying. And Shay, I'm gonna say one thing that you said about walking in Detroit is too cold. That's the best time to walk. You burn more calories in the cold. So we have a lot of gear that's prepared for the cold that you can buy. And if you walk outside, you'll probably do a lot better in the cold in the first place because you burn more calories that way.
Can you call my husband after the show and tell him that you just said that, please? Because he just got home, so we can, absolutely. And what was your other point, Antonio?
I just want to leave people with this: is prepare to win and prep for success. Your mindset is always going to be the first thing that helps you to do anything. Whatever it is, if it's a mindset, if I want to be healthy, I want to stay alive, I want to be here for my grandkids. When you find that why, then the what is easy. And the last thing is, when you're doing all these workouts, make sure that you get your rest. That's more important. That's important as well. You got to have. I'm calling it. You got to exhale, release, and relax. That recovery is just as important as everything else. So
Wow.
I want to leave it.
And drink water.
Drink your water, yes.
I like that. I'm gonna have to write that down.
Right.
Antonio, you said exhale, release, and relax. Is that what it was?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I think that the reason I wanted to do this show, and Deirdre and I had discussed it, is because I think so many times we take our health for granted. Health is more, you're going to benefit by being healthy in the long run from anything. And I know we talked a lot about physical health, internal health, but also it's important to indicate your mental health. If you're not okay, if you're going through depression, if you're going through grief, talk to somebody. Even getting your body right, really can really help the way you see the world and see yourself. Find the good in everything. Although my grandfather passed away yesterday and I teared up a little bit on the show, I'm such a big crybaby. I still felt it important to go on, to continue and say, how can I become better? And when he did pass away, and I wanted to go back to that emotional eating, I wanted to go back into my default setting, right, of my eating habits. I remembered my why. I have to live for my kids. I have to live for myself. I have to live for the people that count on me every day to show up and show out within my business and my community, because I truly want to make a difference. And I don't believe it's my time to go if I can do something about it, like Mario said. So I'm going to make those gradual changes. I just drink some water. Water will fill you up in itself. And it's just take care of yourself, because although you may not care about yourself as much as maybe you should, somebody else does. There's somebody in your life that does. So if it's not for you, do it for them. But we thank you so much, Carla Palmer. Girl, we got to get you on here, because that girl knows she can jump some rope, honey. She is amazing in her own right. We'll get her on. But we thank you again for watching. Tune in again next Thursday. I want to bring somebody in to talk about grief. And if not, we're going to talk about getting rid of all the junk in your life. Join us next week, next Thursday, right here, 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you to my guests. I'll talk with y'all later.
Thank you.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes up my